Living way back in the woods is a joy. We love the peace and the solitude and the occasional wild turkey. It's wonderful that the dogs have lots of room to roam. But the challenge is to find affordable, environmentally friendly ways to stay warm in the winter and cool in the summer, especially here in Michigan. Our house came outfitted with an oil furnace, to which we added central air conditioning. But as time goes on, we're learning that oil-based fuels are becoming too costly. And not just in terms of dollars, but because of the threat to our planet. Propane, natural gas, oil, all of them spew carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and this will inevitably lead to global warming. The danger that climate change poses to all living things on the planet should make all of us pause. But what to do? Well, the one thing we do have is land, about 8.5 acres. Maybe geothermal heating and cooling would make sense for us. Boy, it seems a little new and untested to me, though. So I called Jerry Schultz of S&J Heating in DeWitt, Michigan, and Jerry came out to give me an estimate. He and his team have installed more than 1,000 residential and commercial units in the past 20-plus years. Next thing I know, his team was out here digging its way to our field to install a closed-loop geothermal system. Where we live in Michigan, if you dig 6 feet down, the ground maintains a steady 50-degree temperature year-round. To extract that heat from the ground, S&J laid down more than 600 feet of plastic pipes filled with environmentally friendly methanol. Those pipes attach to our new water furnace. It provides all of our heating and air conditioning, as well as 40 to 60% of our hot water. I'll let Jerry explain how it works.
What we're doing is extracting heat out of the ground. Okay, works the same as a refrigerator. All we're doing is moving heat from one area to the next. We don't create heat. Okay, we just move it out of the ground into the house. Cooling, we take it out of the air just like a regular air conditioner does, and then we put it back in the ground. So your air conditioner out, your condenser out back, would take the heat out of the air in the house, would blow it into the air outside. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. We're just storing it in the ground. The regular air conditioner can't work in the winter, but we can because the ground is warm, stable all year round. The loop is in the ground, it's buried, you're never going to have to worry about that again. Guaranteed 50 years. Once we bring that heat out of the ground, we have an antifreeze solution in the pipes, and we circulate that through there, and it picks up the heat of the ground, brings it into the house, or into the unit, and we extract that heat out through a heat exchanger in a Freon process. The Freon absorbs the heat of the water, and we send the water back out to the ground after more heat. We have a compressor in the unit that compresses the warm Freon, and when we do that, it makes that hotter, turns it into gas, and then we run that gas through the air coil, and then we blow the air from the house across that hot air coil. And the air picks up the heat and puts it in the house for us. It's a sealed system, so there's nothing for you to touch, nothing there. It's all completely sealed. Change the filter and keep the air coil clean. That's the most important part.
The entire system cost us less than $18,000, and we should pay for it in 7 or 8 years at today's oil prices. Faster if prices rise. Instead of spending $3,000 a year for our heating, cooling, and hot water, we will now spend $800 a year for the electricity to run the water furnace. Our power company, Consumers Energy, has already switched us to a special all-electric rate of less than 9 cents per kilowatt hour. Ours is a horizontal closed-loop system. People in urban areas can install a vertical loop system that goes straight down into the ground, but it roughly doubles the price. We do feel a bit like pioneers, even though Jerry says geothermal heating is nothing new.
It's been around for ages. If you stop and think about the Romans, they used to dig tunnels underneath their quarters, and as the wind would blow through the ground in those tunnels, it would warm up their living quarters. Okay, so it's not new technology.
I can already tell the water furnace is a cleaner source of heat than oil. No more greasy film on the inside of my windows. But what really makes us feel good is the knowledge that we have stopped being part of the problem and are becoming part of the solution. The only CO2 emissions are from the electricity generated at the power company. Jerry tells me that switching to a water furnace is the equivalent of removing 2 cars from the road forever. Is geothermal a solution for everyone? Clearly not. Are there risks? Far fewer if you're lucky enough to have someone as knowledgeable and experienced as Jerry to help. For us, geothermal is the best answer available now. We would love to go one step further and generate all the electricity it takes to run our water furnace. But where we live is too cloudy for solar, and there's not enough steady wind for a windmill. Yet we have done what we can to cut the emissions that are choking the planet, and we didn't have to go bankrupt in the process. In fact, we expect to save money in the long run. It doesn't get any better than that.